Okay, good morning everybody. My name is Joanne and this is Xavier. We're from a company called Modena. We do the training on teaching people how to actually become these BIM modelers. So we teach them software skills. So to start off, just a little bit about ourselves. So I'm Joanne. I have been with Modena for the last 12 years and counting. So in 2014, I have been awarded as an Autodesk Expert Elite member. I was also a speaker at Autodesk University in Las Vegas. From there, I was a speaker at Autodesk University in South Africa for 6 years. And my qualification is I've got my advanced diploma in civil and structural engineering. This year, I was awarded as the top ACI, so Autodesk Certified Instructor for the AEC industry for 2024. And I'm also one of 3 platinum ACI instructors in South Africa. So that's a little bit about myself. Now, Xavier is my IT guy with a Revit license. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi guys, so yeah, I am the IT guy that knows Revit. And as you can see, there's quite a lot to say about myself. But yeah, I joined Modena around roughly May 2023, and I specialize in training AutoCAD and Revit at the training center. Okay, so just a little bit about ourselves. We have been developing a relationship with Autodesk for the past 24 years, as well as with our clients, and we've even been able to reach Platinum Partner status, which we are very proud of. Okay, and just to add a little bit about our training center is an Autodesk authorized training center where we specifically focus on all our commercial clients. And we offer various courses such as fundamentals, advanced, and even customized courses. Okay, we are also an Autodesk accredited academic partner, which specifically also focuses on the educational sector for all the students that are also on the same path as we all are. Okay, and then just a little bit about our instructors. All our instructors are Autodesk certified instructors. Okay. Then last thing that we would like to mention is that we have won numerous awards, or we are winners of numerous awards by Autodesk, and we've even gained 7 Platinum Partner Awards. Okay, I'll hand over back to Joe.
Okay, so how many students are in the room? How many of you are studying? Okay, so most of the room. So I am going to talk to you guys today. A few weeks ago, I've attended a conference all about education and the stats of where we are in our country at the moment. And these are all things that came up in that conference. So it's not something that I made up, it's something that is a real concern in our industry. So the first thing is, come on, any minute now. There we go. So the first thing I want to mention, or the first challenge, is our current unemployment rate. So currently, between the last quarter of 2023 and the first quarter of 2024, there has been 330,000 people unemployed. Okay, let that sink in. 330,000 people. Out of that 330,000, there is 36.9% of those are students. And there is 18.8% of those that are just discouraged to work. Why? Most of the times it's because they are studying something that is not a sought after skill. Okay, and so the example was that out of the 800 medical students that was or graduated last year, only 190 of them actually got placed. So she took my notes away, so I had to remember this off by heart. Okay, so that discouraged the people to actually carry on. So that was the first challenge. The second challenge is it's not that there's no work. There is work. People are just not studying the right field. So one of on the business forum, it said that South Africa is facing a massive skill shortage, which severely impacts the business operations across the country. According to the PwC 26th Annual Global CEO Survey, 45% of CEOs said that in the sub-Saharan Africa sector said that not having enough skilled workers is problematic to their company. So the other thing that I want to point out at the top, one of the skills that people are actually really after, and there's not enough of these people in the world or in our country, is the engineering skills, your mechanical, civil, and industrial engineering. Now, there's a massive gap between what you're studying in the classroom and what industry actually needs. One of the things that the guys pointed out was there's not enough practical experience. The guys learn from a textbook, and now they have to enter an architectural company, and they quite don't know what to do. Then the third challenge is the what do you call it? The needs, sorry. The needs that I had as a student is not the same needs as what Xavier has as a student. So what I was after and what Xavier is after and what the next generation is after is not going to be the same. So one of the things that came out is that our youth of today, they don't just want a job, they actually want a career. So as you can see in this picture, one of the guys wants a new car, other one wants money, but what our youth actually wants is employability. Okay, so Xavier is going to take you through different ways that you can achieve the skills that you need to become employable.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So when the next slide comes up, there you go. Okay, so Joe would like me to introduce you all to Sam. And Sam is pretty much just like you and I. We all are looking to develop our skills so that we may become, like she said, employable. So the first thing that Sam might want to consider is, how do I start this journey? Where do I go about this? So the first thing here is books. So you could buy books from various places. You could go online, thanks for today's technology, and in-store. But there may be a couple drawbacks. So even though this is a perfectly viable option, for some people, this is something that might be a little bit out of their reach. And a couple reasons could be some things as the cost. Books today can cost almost a fortune for a lot of people. You could spend maybe a couple hundred to a couple thousands rands paying for books just because they aren't locally available to you. So that could be a really big problem for a lot of users and people like Sam that are actually trying to look at developing themselves. Another thing to also consider is the time that would have to be invested. As a lot of you might know, or you might be currently involved in a study career or something of that sort, where you already are so compact with information and time, and now you have to dedicate even more time to learning more skills, especially if you get stuck at certain chapters. There might be a certain chapter in a book where you're really like, okay, now I really don't know what to do. How am I going to figure out what this is trying to explain to me? So then you might go to a friend, you might go to Google, you might go somewhere else to try to figure this out. So again, it might just not be a very good or viable option, but you can still go for that. But yeah, again, all in all, books can be very expensive, and they might even come in sets. So you might not even pay for just a part 1 of 5, because I know a lot of us are in that position where, especially for myself, the IT guy that knows Revit, I have to buy IT books that come in sets, and it can be very costly. Okay, the other option that we're going to have a look at now is video-based or online learning. So even with this one, I think we could all relate to this, hearing the same monotone voice for hours straight. We can't. It gets very, very boring. So again, it can be a viable option, but again, when it comes to online learning, there might be a lot of time that you're going to have to invest. And one example I'd like to bring to you is, you guys all know how railings work. It's basically just this whole length of material that goes across like a baluster. And let's say you're looking for a specific railing pattern. You want to design something unique. You want to be able to do this, but you don't quite know how, especially with the software that you are busy learning or do know. So you go to YouTube, and I'm pretty sure we've all done this, beginner tutorial on how to do this, or course on how to do this, and you might find a video. It's 2 hours long. Okay, you give it a try because you look at the thumbnail and it looks convincing. Okay, you go ahead, watch the video. 14 minutes in, you find that it's actually talking about the wrong thing. And there's nothing more painful than having that experience. Trust me, I've been there. And another reason why I know I've been there, I'm pretty sure you guys will agree with me, is with today's growing technology and the development of software, that video might have come out 4 years ago, and when that video came out, it doesn't even apply to today, because all the companies like Autodesk are consistently updating their software. So you see this video and it looks great, but the moment you get to that point, it doesn't even apply anymore. And I can promise you, it's a painful experience to go through something like that. Okay, so all in all, how are you able to test your knowledge? So there are various other ways. Like again, you could look on the screen over here. You can learn from a friend, because maybe you have a friend that knows the software really, really well. Also on the job, which is an option. There are many people here, I'm sure will say, that they, a lot of the times, were literally just thrown into the deep end and had to learn all the work on the spot. Then another one here is self-taught at home, in the comfort of your own home. But again, with all these different methods here, how do you know for yourself that you are able to consolidate all of this information and to take that a step even further? How do you know that what you are learning will make you or allow you to become an expert? Again, leading back to that employability part, which we all want to have to our name. So we actually heard this statement in class the one day, and one of the students at the end of the course said, "You really just don't know what you don't know." And it's quite a true statement, because when you're learning something on your own, you don't even know where to begin. You might start, you just open up the software and you have no idea where to begin. And I could tell you now, we actually had an experience at the office the one day where there was this like mechanical part, and there was like this, I'm pretty sure you guys all know what a fillet is, but for all those that don't know, it's like a curve to it. But it had to be an exact number. So when we used all the different basic tools and stuff, it was always giving us a consistent 0.5, 0.3, 0.2. And we kind of asked ourselves the question, what if someone needed this part to be in an engine and there had to be no tolerance? There could not be a slight bit off. It had to be this exact amount. So we actually had to go and find someone who actually is an expert, who has many years of experience in the software, to show us what we call a workflow to being able to figure this out. So this person actually came up and showed us how you combine the different tools together to eventually get the end result. So we couldn't have figured it out with just the basic tools. It just wasn't working. We had to have someone to show us the workflow behind it and how to get that exact point. Okay, so our solution to this, as you heard now, to get to that level is instructor-led training. So there are many advantages to this, and one thing I'd like to point out is that you're going to be taught by an industry expert or someone that has been Autodesk certified. And another advantage to this is that you will gain immediate attention whilst you are being taught the lesson, as well as getting immediate answers. And like when it came to videos, blogs, forums, you weren't able to get an immediate response. It was quite a big drawback when it comes to videos and books. If you were lost or completely stuck, you would have to go contact someone else and wait for their response. Maybe they don't even know. They would have to go and figure it out. So there can be quite a few drawbacks. Even though they're all viable options, we still recommend our instructor-led training, or even in general, to have someone there that has been using the software for quite a while, who uses it almost on a daily basis. Okay, another thing we also want to point out is that with instructor-led training, the content is going to be relevant. We're not going to go ahead and teach an architect how to build a plane. It's just not going to happen. It won't work that way. We're going to show them how to do their job and to do it better. Okay, and then another thing we want to explain is the objective-based training. So one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to just say, okay, this is what this button does, this is what a wall button does, this is what a floor button does. Because you could go home and say, okay, I know what these buttons do, but how do I put it all together to get this model? And that's how it comes together when we show you, okay, we're going to teach you the workflow behind it on how to get this building put together. And I'd like Joe to explain, because for me, I don't know, it doesn't work the same way, but Joe has a way of making information sticky. So I'll let her explain.
Okay. Okay, so the only reason he doesn't want to explain it is because we're talking about a pregnant lady.
That's not true.
So in AutoCAD, when you need to attach we're talking about X-refs, I need to attach a drawing to another drawing and put the drawing into a third drawing. So there's two ways that you can actually attach the drawing. The first one is an attachment, and the second one is an overlay. So I tell them that an attachment is a pregnant lady. The baby is physically attached to her. So if you go from the one place to the second place, the baby is going to go with. So if you put drawing A into drawing B and drawing B into drawing C, you're still going to see your drawing A because it's attached. An overlay, the baby is big enough to stay at home. So then mommy can go to drawing B and drawing B into drawing C. You're not going to see drawing A because it's left at home. So it's just a way to remember it, and that's making the information sticky. All right.
To this day, I still forget it.
Okay, so all of these things are just to try and guide you guys on a way that you can go and learn. It doesn't mean that books and videos are bad. It just means that it is a nicer way and a better way to learn. So because you are students and in the educational sector, Autodesk gives you free educational software to use. But that needs to be used, now I forget the word again. The Afrikaans always comes through. With caution. You need to use it with caution. So educational software cannot be used for commercial use. So you cannot generate any money with educational software. So if you need to do a project for somebody and they're going to pay you for it, you need a paid-for license. You can't use your student license. But other than that, you've got free software. Then if you want to attend face-to-face training, you do get a 25% discount just because you're a student, and you have to be a student in the industry. So you can't be studying law and then say, okay, I want to come and do a drafting course. You need to actually be studying drafting. And then the third one is, once you attend training, you get a certificate of attendance, which means you've attended my training, you've been there, you've learned, and you were there for, let's say, 3 or 4 days. But that doesn't mean you're competent in the software. It doesn't mean that you actually, the information stuck. It just means that you were there. So by doing a certified professional exam, we actually test your knowledge, and you need to pass the exam, and this is an international exam. You go onto a list, and this proves that you have gained the knowledge that you actually need. Just to give you an idea, in South Africa, there's only 90 certified professionals in AutoCAD. So every second person knows AutoCAD, but there's only 90% or 90 people that actually pass the test. All right, so that's my part or our part. If you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to come and chat to us. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks, guys.